12 hours in and the cracks are already starting to show. The fridge, it's no longer keeping things cold. Your phone, down to its last bar of battery. And the silence, it's not the peaceful kind, it's the kind that feels unsettling, even dangerous. This is the moment where most people make their first critical mistake. And on day one of a blackout, that's all it takes to turn a bad situation into a disaster. You think a blackout is just about the lights being off? Think again. The real danger isn't just the darkness, it's what's happening in your home right now that could pose the biggest threat to your safety. Because here's the truth. What you don't know about day one could be the difference between staying in control and spiraling into chaos. Day one hits harder than anyone expects. There's no warning, no adjustment period, just silence and 100 small problems waiting to snowball. The fridge is warming up, your phone is dying, tempers are rising, and the scariest part, most people have no idea what's coming next. One wrong move, one overlooked detail, and the blackout shifts from a temporary inconvenience to a full-blown crisis. This video is your survival guide for day one. What to watch for, what to fix immediately, and the mistakes you can't afford to make. 1. Water supply issues. The silent threat you can't ignore. When the power goes out, most people instinctively think about food. Here's the harsh reality. Water is the first thing that can turn a blackout from an inconvenience into a life-threatening crisis. By the end of day one, water becomes the silent killer that no one saw coming. Here's why. The average household's water supply is heavily reliant on electricity. If you're on a well system, your pump stops working the moment the power goes out. Even if you're connected to a municipal water system, the pressure tanks that keep water flowing are only designed to last a few hours. As demand spikes and the system loses pressure, the flow slows to a trickle or stops entirely. Now imagine this scenario. Your fridge is stocked, but you have no water to cook with, no water to drink, and no water to flush the toilet. What started as a minor inconvenience quickly spirals into a full-blown emergency. And here's the kicker. Dehydration doesn't wait. It hits faster and harder than hunger. While the human body can survive up to 3 weeks without food, it can only last about 3 days without water. But what most people don't realize is that the effects of dehydration start much sooner. Headaches, dizziness, confusion, these are the early warning signs that your body is running on empty and your judgment is slipping. So what can you do right now to avoid this? Start by checking your water reserves. Fill every container you can find. Bathtubs, pots, pans, buckets, even empty soda bottles. Anything that can hold water should be put to use. If you have a water purification system or tablets, now's the time to use them. Aim to store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day, and don't forget about your pets. They need water too. Here's another critical point that most people overlook. Once the taps stop working, panic sets in. People will flock to the nearest water source and tensions can escalate quickly. Fights over water are not uncommon in prolonged blackouts, and if you're not prepared, you could find yourself in a dangerous situation. On blackout day one, water isn't just a convenience, it's your first lifeline. Ignoring it could be the biggest mistake you make. Prepare now, because once the taps run dry, it's too late. 2. Food spoilage. What to eat first and how to make it last. Once you've secured your water supply, the next challenge hits like a freight train. Food spoilage. Your fridge, the unsung hero of your kitchen, is now a ticking time bomb. Without power, the cool, safe environment it provides starts to disappear, and the clock begins ticking on your perishable food. Here's the science behind it. The USDA states that perishable food enters the danger zone within just 4 hours of losing refrigeration. This is the temperature range where bacteria thrive, turning your fresh groceries into a breeding ground for foodborne illnesses. Milk, eggs, fresh meats, and leftovers are the first to go, and if you're not careful, they can quickly become a health hazard. So what's the plan? Prioritize. Start by eating the most perishable items in your fridge. Fresh dairy products, meats, and any leftovers from previous meals should be at the top of your list. Think of it as a survival buffet where time is your biggest enemy. Once the fridge is empty, move on to the freezer. A full freezer can keep food safe for up to 48 hours if you keep the door closed. If it's only half full, that window shrinks to about 24 hours. The key here is to resist the urge to constantly check on your food. Every time you open the door, you let cold air escape, speeding up the spoilage process. But what about cooking? With your stove and microwave out of commission, you'll need to get creative. Camp stoves, solar cookers, and outdoor grills can be lifesavers, but only if you've prepared ahead of time. And here's a critical safety tip: never use these devices indoors. The risk of carbon monoxide poisoning is real and can be deadly. If you don't have access to alternative cooking methods, focus on non-perishable foods like canned goods, dried fruits, and nuts. These items don't require refrigeration and can provide the calories and nutrients you need to stay energized. Planning is everything when it comes to food during a blackout. By day one, the clock is ticking on your perishable items, but with a little foresight, you can turn this challenge into an opportunity to stay ahead of the crisis. Prioritize, ration, and make every bite count, because you don't know how long the power will be out. 3. Lighting and safe heat, staying safe when the sun goes down. As the sun dips below the horizon, a new challenge emerges: darkness. It's not just an inconvenience, it's a game changer. Without light, even the simplest tasks become difficult, and the risk of accidents increases. But it's not just about safety. Light also plays a crucial role in maintaining morale. A well-lit space can provide a sense of normalcy and calm in an otherwise chaotic situation. The first thing to understand is that your fancy smart bulbs and switches are now useless. Flashlights, headlamps, and candles become your new best friends. But not all light sources are created equal. Candles, while romantic, are also a significant fire hazard, especially if you have kids or pets. If you do use candles, make sure they're in sturdy holders, placed away from flammable materials, and never left unattended. A single candle can turn a blackout into a full-blown house fire. Battery-powered lanterns are a safer and more reliable option. They provide enough light to move around, cook, or even play games to keep spirits up. Stock up on extra batteries now, because the last thing you want is to be rummaging through drawers in the dark hoping to find a spare. Now, let's talk about heat. Depending on where you live, nighttime temperatures can drop significantly, and without central heating, staying warm becomes a real challenge. Forget about using your oven or gas stove to heat your home. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a silent killer that can strike faster than hypothermia. Instead, focus on layering. Wear multiple layers of clothing, use sleeping bags, and wrap yourself in emergency blankets to trap body heat. If you have access to a safe flame or a camp stove, you can heat bricks or water bottles and use them as makeshift hot water bottles. Place them in your bed or under a blanket to create a pocket of warmth. It's an old-school trick, but it works. Light and heat are more than just luxuries during a blackout. They're essential for both safety and sanity. By preparing now, you're not just surviving, you're creating a small oasis of calm in the midst of chaos. Because when the lights go out, it's your mindset and preparation that will light the way forward. Number 4, toilet sanitation emergency. When the water stops flowing, your bathroom, once a place of comfort and routine, transforms into a potential health hazard. It's a reality most people don't think about until it's too late. Without running water, toilets become useless, and the consequences of ignoring this problem can escalate quickly. The first day of a blackout is when sanitation issues hit hardest, and if you're not prepared, it can spiral into a dangerous situation. Without the ability to flush, waste begins to accumulate. The smell intensifies, bacteria multiply, and the risk of infection skyrockets. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a serious health risk, especially for families with children, elderly members, or anyone with a weakened immune system. But don't panic. There are simple, effective ways to manage this crisis and keep your home safe. Start by setting up an emergency toilet station. A sturdy 5-gallon bucket is your best friend in this situation. Line it with a heavy-duty trash bag to contain waste. To control odors and absorb moisture, add a layer of kitty litter, sawdust, or even shredded newspaper. These materials act as a barrier, keeping smells at bay and making the situation more manageable. Once your makeshift toilet is ready, make sure it's placed in a well-ventilated area, away from your main living spaces. Keep a lid or tight cover on the bucket to trap odors and prevent pests from becoming an issue. Proper disposal of waste is critical. Never dump it near your water supply or in areas where it could contaminate your surroundings. If you have access to outdoor toilets, portable camping toilets, or specialized waste disposal bags, use them. Hygiene is your next line of defense. Hand washing with soap and water is ideal, but in a blackout, water may be limited. Stock up on hand sanitizer and use it frequently, especially after using the bathroom or before handling food. If you don't have sanitizer, use water sparingly and wash your hands carefully. Don't forget essential supplies like feminine hygiene products, baby wipes, diapers, and adult incontinence items. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities that can make a huge difference in maintaining comfort and dignity during a crisis. If you live in a cold climate, freezing waste outside temporarily can help, but this isn't an option in warmer areas or if you have pets. The key to managing sanitation on day one of a blackout is preparation, containment, and cleanliness. With a little planning, you can turn a potential health crisis into a manageable inconvenience. Remember, it's not just about what you eat or drink during a blackout, it's also about how you handle what you flush. Number 5. Low phone battery and no communications. Imagine this. The power's out and your phone's battery is draining fast. No chargers, no cell towers, no internet. Suddenly, the world goes quiet. It's not just inconvenient, it's isolating and potentially dangerous. Communication is more than just texting friends or scrolling through social media. It's your lifeline to safety, information, and staying connected to loved ones. When your phone dies, that lifeline disappears. The silence can be eerie and panic might start to creep in. Rumors spread quickly, and without reliable information, you can feel completely cut off. The first day of a blackout is when this isolation hits hardest, and it's a vulnerability many people overlook. So what can you do? First, treat your phone's battery like gold. Every percentage matters. Start by dimming your screen brightness and closing all unnecessary apps running in the background. Switch to airplane mode when you're not actively using your phone. This simple step can significantly extend your battery life. Limit your phone use to emergencies only. Resist the urge to check social media or play games. It's not worth the battery drain. If you have a portable power bank, use it wisely. Don't waste a full charge on non-essential activities. Ration your power carefully, because one bad decision could leave you completely in the dark when you need your phone the most. Think beyond your smartphone. Alternative communication tools can be lifesavers. Walkie-talkies are a great option for staying in touch with family members at home or even across the neighborhood. Ham radios, while old school, are incredibly reliable during emergencies. They can connect you to emergency broadcasts and even help you reach assistance when other systems fail. Before the blackout hits, take a moment to prepare. Write down important phone numbers, addresses, and emergency contacts in a small notebook. Your phone might be a modern marvel, but when it dies, it's just a useless brick. Paper, on the other hand, never runs out of battery. Keep this notebook in your emergency kit. It could be a lifesaver. Remember, the silence won't last forever. Cell towers will come back online, networks will recover, and help will arrive. In the meantime, stay calm, conserve your resources, and focus on staying connected in any way you can. Communication is your lifeline. Protect it. Number 6. Entertainment and mental health drop. When the power goes out, the silence can be deafening. No TV, no music, no social media, just the sound of your own thoughts. The world shrinks to the walls of your home, and the weight of that darkness can feel overwhelming. Entertainment might seem like a luxury, but during a blackout, it's a mental health necessity. Without distractions, time slows down, the hours drag, and the sense of isolation grows. Restlessness can quickly turn into frustration, and frustration can escalate into panic. The psychological toll of a blackout is real, and it can hit harder and faster than you expect. So, how do you keep your spirits up when the lights go out? Start with the basics. Dust off those old board games and card decks that have been sitting in the closet. A simple game of cards can spark laughter, conversation, and a sense of normalcy. Jigsaw puzzles, while quiet, can turn into a shared challenge that brings people together. Use this time to reconnect with your family or housemates. Tell stories, share memories, and reminisce about good times. These moments of connection are more powerful than any streaming service. If you're alone, find ways to stay grounded. Keep a journal and write down your thoughts, or sketch what you see around you. If you have a battery-powered radio, turn it on. Even the faint crackle of static or the sound of a distant voice can break the silence and remind you that the world is still turning. Local broadcasts might provide news updates, music, or just a comforting sense of connection to the outside world. Don't underestimate the power of your own voice. Share jokes, invent stories, or create silly games with your kids. Laughter is a powerful antidote to anxiety, and it can light up even the darkest moments. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try meditation or deep breathing exercises to calm your mind. Remember, this isn't just about surviving the blackout. It's about building resilience. These moments of darkness can teach you more about yourself and your loved ones than any screen ever could. When the lights go out, a bright mind and a strong spirit can illuminate even the darkest room. Number 7. Medications, hygiene products, and pet needs. When the power goes out, most people focus on the obvious essentials: food, water, and flashlights. But there's a trio of often overlooked necessities that can make or break your first day in a blackout: medications, hygiene products, and pet supplies. These aren't just extras, they're the unsung heroes that keep your household functioning when everything else feels chaotic. Let's start with medications. If you or a family member relies on daily prescriptions, running out during a blackout can turn an already stressful situation into a full-blown health emergency. Insulin, heart medications, inhalers, antidepressants, antibiotics, whatever your routine requires, missing even one dose can have serious consequences. That's why preparation is key. Talk to your doctor now about securing an emergency refill or an extra supply of your essential medications. Many pharmacies and healthcare providers can help you create a backup kit that's ready to grab at a moment's notice. It's not just about prescriptions, though. Over-the-counter medications are just as important. Painkillers, allergy relief, antacids, and cold medicine can make a world of difference when stress or illness strikes. Even something as simple as ibuprofen can help you manage the physical toll of a blackout. Store these items in a clearly labeled, waterproof container that's easy to access in the dark. Next, hygiene products. When the power's out, so is your access to running water, warm showers, and the little comforts we often take for granted. Soap, toothpaste, deodorant, feminine hygiene products, diapers, and baby wipes might seem like minor details, but they're critical for maintaining cleanliness and dignity. Hygiene isn't just about comfort, it's about preventing infections and keeping your household healthy. Imagine trying to calm a crying baby without enough diapers, or dealing with a sudden illness without hand sanitizer or toilet paper. Stock up now, because when panic sets in, stores might not be an option. And let's not forget your pets. They're part of the family, and their needs don't stop when the lights go out. Make sure you have enough food, clean water, medications, and supplies like litter boxes, leashes, and carriers. A stressed-out pet can add to your own stress, so having their favorite treats or toys on hand can help keep them calm. The smartest move you can make is to gather all these essentials, medications, hygiene products, and pet supplies, into one organized, easy-to-grab container. A sturdy bin, backpack, or plastic tub works perfectly. When the lights go out, you'll be glad you planned ahead. Number 8. Security concerns at night. The first night of a blackout is more than just an inconvenience. It's a psychological test. Darkness that once felt cozy and peaceful now stretches endlessly, cloaking everything in uncertainty. Every creak of a floorboard or rustle of leaves outside takes on a new, unsettling significance. Without the glow of streetlights, the hum of security systems, or the wail of an alarm, your home becomes more vulnerable than ever. Blackouts have a way of attracting attention. Burglars, looters, or even curious wanderers might see the darkness as an opportunity to test your defenses. Your family's safety isn't just at risk from the elements, it's at risk from those who see opportunity in the shadows. But here's the good news. With a little preparation, you can turn fear into confidence. Start by securing your home. Check all doors and windows to ensure they're locked and reinforced. Deadbolts, security bars, and even something as simple as a wooden dowel in a sliding door track can make a big difference. These measures buy you precious seconds in an emergency, and sometimes that's all you need. Lighting is another powerful deterrent. Even in a blackout, you can use solar-powered or battery-operated motion sensor lights around your property, and a sudden beam of light can startle a would-be intruder and alert you to their presence. Inside your home, keep multiple light sources ready: flashlights, lanterns, or even candles in a pinch. Test them regularly so you're not fumbling in the dark when you hear an unexpected noise. Community support is invaluable during a blackout. Talk to your neighbors, exchange contact information, and consider setting up a simple neighborhood watch system. Whether it's a group chat, a rotation of late-night lookouts, or a buddy system, there's strength in numbers. When the grid goes down, your neighbors are often your first line of defense before authorities can step in. Finally, have a plan. Know your exit routes, safe spots, and emergency contacts. Discuss these with your family so everyone knows what to do in case of an emergency. Don't forget to secure overlooked entry points like backyards, sheds, or garages. These are often the weakest links in home security. Staying vigilant doesn't mean living in fear. It means being prepared and having the tools to protect your home and loved ones. Number 9. Cold or heat survival without HVAC. When the power goes out, your home's temperature can quickly become a challenge. Without heating or air conditioning, extreme cold or heat can turn your living space into a high-stakes environment. Surviving these conditions isn't just about comfort, it's about safety and health. In cold climates, the drop in temperature can be rapid and dangerous. Pipes can freeze, and so can your fingers. The key to staying warm is layering. Use every blanket, sweater, and jacket you can find. Focus on creating warm zones by closing off unused rooms and insulating windows with towels, blankets, or plastic sheets. Emergency blankets and sleeping bags are especially effective because they trap heat better than regular blankets. If you have a wood stove or fireplace, use it safely. Make sure there's plenty of ventilation to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. And have a cozy. Never use ovens or gas stoves for heat. They're not designed for that purpose and can be deadly. Instead, consider heating bricks or water bottles near a safe flame outdoors and bringing them inside as makeshift hot packs. In hot climates, the challenge is staying cool. Block out the sun's rays by covering windows with curtains, blankets, or reflective materials. Stay hydrated and avoid strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. Battery-powered fans can help, as can cool cloths placed on your skin. Focus on regulating your body temperature by eating light meals and drinking plenty of water. Your body is your most reliable thermostat. Stay active to generate heat in the cold, but rest often to conserve energy in the heat. The goal is to maintain a livable, safe environment until the power comes back. Number 10. Prep mistakes that now cost you. The first day of a blackout is a harsh reminder that preparation matters. Sometimes the biggest threat isn't the blackout itself, but the small, overlooked mistakes you made before the power went out. Take batteries, for example. It's easy to assume you're covered because you tossed a pack in a drawer months ago. But when your flashlight dies and you realize the batteries are dead, or worse, the wrong size, you're left in the dark. Literally. Spare batteries aren't a luxury, they're a lifeline. Chargers are another common oversight. How many times have you relied on a single charger without testing it? A broken cable or missing adapter can leave you without a way to power your devices. In a blackout, your phone is more than just a gadget, it's your connection to information and help. Sanitation is another area where mistakes can add up. Toilets won't flush forever, and without a plan, things can get unsanitary fast. A bad smell isn't just unpleasant, it's demoralizing and can lead to health issues. Medications and hygiene products are often underestimated. That extra inhaler or backup prescription you meant to grab might feel like a minor detail until you need it. Skipping out on soap, toothpaste, or feminine products might seem small, but in a blackout, these items are essential for comfort and dignity. Security is another critical area. A single overlooked window latch or broken lock can leave your home vulnerable. Blackouts attract attention, and your home's defenses need to be ready. The good news? Most of these mistakes are preventable. Take the time now to double-check your supplies, test your equipment, and address any gaps in your preparation. The better you plan, the smoother your blackout experience will be. Final thoughts. Blackouts are more than just a test of your resources. They're a test of your resilience and preparation. By addressing these often overlooked areas, you can turn a potentially chaotic situation into a manageable one. From medications to security to temperature control, the key is to stay calm, stay prepared, and stay adaptable, because when the lights go out, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.